this is Riverside Baptist Church. Today we're going to do the resurrection eggs. Now you may know I did this at my house, well, actually at my papa's house, because our house is getting renovated. And I was over here, my dad was over here. Actually, no, my dad was over here and I was over here. Yeah, but my dad is actually working the camera. So, yeah. First up, the donkey. This is when Jesus was nearing Jerusalem, and he sent 2 disciples, and he said, go get a donkey. And if anyone asks, say the Lord needs him. So they did that, was untying the donkey, and then someone said, why are you untying the donkey? And they said, the Lord needs it. So that's what the donkey has to do in Easter. This is when these are the 30 silver coins, but it's only 3 because 30 would fill the entire egg up. When Judas betrayed Jesus and worked for the Pharisees, he actually felt so guilty, he gave the money back, and when they wouldn't accept it, he hanged himself. Not on the cross, he killed himself by just hanging himself. So next up, the cup. This is at the Last Supper, I think. Yeah, that's correct. When he broke the bread and said, this is my body broken for you. And he poured the wine and said, this is my blood poured for you. So that's what the cup stands for. Next up, the hands. This is when he was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane to his Abba, Papa. That stands for Papa in Hebrew. Hebrew, God. And that's when, because he knew that Judas was going to betray. That's when he knew Judas and the Roman soldiers were coming to take him away. And this is the whip from when Jesus was getting beaten by the guards. This is the rooster. Now you may be thinking, what does a rooster have to do with Easter? If you don't know the Easter story. Well, this is when Jesus said at the Last Supper that, or sometime else, I don't really know. I think it was at the Last Supper, when Peter is trying to think it, when Jesus said to Peter that he was going to betray Jesus of even knowing him 3 times, and that came true even though he said, no, Lord, I will never forsake you. I will follow you to death. But before the rooster crowed twice, he did that. 3 different people did it. 3 different people said, you're one of those Jesus followers, aren't you? The rest of them hitchhiked it. They didn't even go in. But once he saw the rooster crow twice, now this trial of the whip was actually the whole day, the whole night. It took the whole night. It was a day before it happened. Just trial. And he looked up at Jesus, and he hitchhiked it out with the rest. He just ran right out of there once he figured out what he did. Next up, the crown of thorns. Now you may be thinking, what is the crown of thorns going to do in Easter? Well, actually, it's when the Roman soldiers were beating up him. They grabbed some thorns and made it into a crown and sticked it on his head. I mean, he was so beaten, he had less muscle that he could barely hold the the cross. They wrapped him in purple and spit it on his face. Because in that day, purple clothes were gonna, well, only the wealthy could get it, like the rich. Yeah, the rich could only get it. Yeah, and Jesus was being mocked by the Roman soldiers. And next up is the cross, when Jesus was hung on the cross. So he had to do this, cross their legs, and God had to, he couldn't look at him because of the sin, and he said, Abba, why have you forsaken me? That stands for Papa, why have you forsaken me? Why have you left me? And he said to one of them, I don't know the name, but he said to the only man that was there to take care of his mommy, Mary, not Mary Magdalene, her sister. Yeah, and they did have more kids, but that's when the whole earthquake started to happen, and the sky turned to dark, and the person on the left said, if you're the Son of God, you can get us all down, but the person on the right said, I will see you in heaven. Something other, but he would say, oh, Jesus said, he said something that made him, I think he said, I believe, and Jesus said, I will see you in paradise. Paradise means heaven, because that place is gonna be. This is when the soldiers stuffed the spear in and tore through one of Jesus' sides. And it literally, and all this weird gooey stuff came out, and that's how they knew he was dead. Oh, also on the cross, they gambled for his clothes. They tore off his shirts and sat on it as they gambled. And this is the cloth when his body was taken to the tomb and wrapped up. What kids think as mommy, that's what he looked like. But yeah, and when he left, he neatly folded it. Neatly. And this is the stone when it was rolled. Hold on. The stone doesn't want to come out. This is the stone when it was rolled away and the angel was sitting on it. And Mary and Mary Magdalene were coming to it. And one of them ran back to tell the disciples, but the other one was crying and said, My Lord has been taken. And then he says, Mary. And then she knows, because he said her name. Lastly, nothing. This is when the tomb was empty, Jesus had rose. So that's all of the resurrection eggs. So, bye.